What's going on, everyone? Welcome. This is the Warehouse Series. So today I'm going to be doing something different on the end of my Discord Friday. I'm going to add some TikToks on. I forget the person's screen name, but you'll see the icon, or his little logo. So you go over and follow him on TikTok. So some of his stuff is funny, but I was watching a bunch of his TikToks, and I'm like, there's a lot of lessons to be learned through some of this. And some of the TikToks I'm going to show you today actually have happened in our warehouse multiple times. So I think it's important for safety reasons to go over some of these TikToks. So I'm going to start adding them on to either a separate video, but for today, we're just going to put them on the end of Discord Friday. Guys, if you like the channel, you like the content, please subscribe to my channel, help support it. I'm creeping up on 4,000 subscribers. I'm very excited about that. We have like close to 600 members on Discord, people from all over the world helping each other out. That is in the description below. You can click that link, come on over. Anytime you click one of my videos and the links expire, please let me know. I'll give you a new link, give me a thumbs up. And if you guys want to help support the channel by donating to Venmo, it's much appreciated. All right, so the first picture I will look at is this one right here. Now, we went over some dairy products last week, but when I see stuff like this, I want to put it out. All right, so I tell you, I like keeping these coffee mates in the middle of my pallet, but if I have a bunch of them like this person does, and they're higher up the pallet, I don't mind, spreading them around like they did here. If these were lower, I try to group them in a corner. I don't like this being a base. So if I was starting off with coffee mates, I'm either, if I have a lot, I'm stacking them all on the front of my pallet, or I'm using them in a corner. I'm not using them as a full base, but higher up the pallet, I think we're good to go. These Fairlifes, they're a smaller case. All right, I love how they got these in the middle. I would have done the same thing. Keep the box, nice strong boxes on the corners, and keep your Fairlife in the middle. Other than that, this pallet is perfectly built. We got high corner, low inside. We got even corners, high corner, low inside, high corner, low inside. It's just the basics, guys. I said last week, and I'm sticking with it, I think dairy's the easiest to stack, but people still mess it up because they don't, stick to the basic concepts. Even this silk is higher than the coffee mate. So we got the silk on the corner, and we got the coffee mate in the middle. So we got a high corner, low inside. Very well done. All right, guys, another dairy pallet, another very well-built pallet. Stack 2 sour creams together, just to keep her high and low. Actually, it lines up really nice with the silk. And honestly, I did not know these match up with the silk. So the next time I go up to dairy, I'm going to keep that in mind. That is a good thing to know. I love, guys, look at this. 2 of these long yogurts. I would do the same exact thing. It's the perfect opportunity to tie in your corner when you have 2 of them. Just perfectly done. I mean, we got a slight lean coming inwards. So that means that they have high corners and low insides when you see that slight lean coming inwards. If you're in dairy, just go over these pallets. Guys, when I post these and I talk about them, don't just listen to me and talk about them. If you're in the dairy warehouse, actually look at these. Take time, take 5 minutes and look at this dairy pallet, take 5 minutes and look at the other dairy pallet, and go through the pallet like I do whenever I talk about it, and see what they are doing that you can contribute to your work. All right, so this one here, someone posted on Discord, and they said that they didn't wrap it good enough. And then when I started looking, it's missing a whole corner. So that's my theory, is that there's a whole block missing over here. So it was bound to fall. So I see this a lot. People, they just get this dumb attitude in the warehouse. Like, I don't care if it's broken, I'll use it, Well, if you're missing a whole block and you're stacking weight on it, what do you think's going to happen? So my opinion is that's what's happened. We're missing a block. It had nothing to do with the wrap, because it honestly looks like they wrapped the crap out of it. But we're missing a block here, so that's what happened. This pallet fell over from that, and it almost looks like this jack bumped into it. I don't know what's going on here. Or maybe they were pulling it out and it started dragging it, so this is all the back product. It's a pretty big pallet too, but yeah, that block is definitely, I believe, what happened. All right, so the next picture, another dairy pallet, just beautifully done. And this is a lot of smaller cases, different cases that we have in our warehouse. Some of these cases in here, Parmesan cheeses, or down in our dry, but very nicely done. A case on its side, and it's not a big deal. It doesn't look like it's crushing or anything, but just perfectly done. See how we stack up in the corner? We're not immediately trying to tie in. We're keeping 2 light cases together, 2 light cases together. stacking these together. So I would do the same thing with these sour creams or whatever these are, yogurts. I like stacking them together too because they don't sit right in the packaging. And the last thing you want to do is spread these all over the place. Sometimes the lids get caught on each other, and so you don't get that flat surface that you're looking for. So stacking them together is a good way to eliminate problems with those. But a very nice looking pallet. All right, this one right here, I believe Jeremy posted this from his warehouse. And the only reason why I put this on here is for new selectors. Like I said, guys, this is a learning tool for a lot of new selectors. That's why I'm very appreciative of all the experienced selectors on Discord that still post their work, because your work is helping new people, and I really appreciate it. Guys, when I say it don't fit, don't force it, that goes for this too, hanging off the side of the pallet. So if I put this case down, guess what? It doesn't need to go there. If you're hanging off the pallet that much, it doesn't need to go there. You either turn it or you got to put it somewhere else. This is too much over here too. Now, I understand you. It looks like you have longer cases here. Guys, make it work. All right, shoo these long cases out, turn these two cases going this direction, slide this case over, and then you can take these two long cases and go straight on top. Because this is almost even to this. So you could even bring these two cases here could have been straight up front and tied it in real nice. Guys, if you put these two cases down first, and then you get these, don't hang them off the pallets. Take the time to just move some cases around. And this could possibly be a trainer. You only touch your cases once. That's why I hate that touch once mentality for a base. Once you establish a base and you start moving higher up your pallet, get that touch once mentality. When you're doing a base, I just feel like this is what this is. I don't know, Jeremy, you tell me different, because I do believe you did this. Do your other trainers, because I know you're a trainer, do other trainers in your warehouse have that touch once mentality, where maybe the selector thinks, I can't move it. He told me he only touched the case once. I'm curious. Let me know in the comment section below. All right, guys, so last Discord Friday, I put this on, and I told you the result of this leaning corner is because we have a strong middle with a weak corner. Well, we have another person that posted a picture on, and I know they said that this was new for them because they usually put cases on their sides. I can't remember who it was, but I know they said they put cases on their sides, and they wanted to do all cases upright. But once again, I'm not putting on here to shame anybody. I just want this for a learning experience that you saw last week, that we had that leaning corner because of the strong middle with a weak inside. All right, so now we got the same thing going on here. Even though this is the side of the pallet, these cases going in this direction is giving you a strong middle, and guess what we're forced to do? Have a small corner, and we get that lean going. That is why we get it. Guys, I'm telling you, nothing ever comes good of putting cases like this. It works like 5% of the time. I promise you. This is a strong middle with a weak corner. All right, so this is the last set of pictures we're going to look at, is this pallet right here. So I want to say, first of all, for a learning thing for new selectors, this big Tropicana should never be in the middle. This is a higher case. It should be on your corners. All right, they're big long boxes, and they are higher than the other cases. And then what we did we have a middle that's higher, and then just continued that. And then we got, I don't even know what's going on in this back corner back here, but yeah, everything's just leaning this way. We got a small corner, with a strong inside with the butter. Those butters should have been on the corner. Honestly, all these juices should have been on this corner right here. I'm not 100% sure why this person built like this on this side of the pallet, but we're going to look at the other side. The other side's a mess. And I looked at this. And by looking here, let's go back real quick. Let's look at the other side. You notice how everything's upright? All these cases are upright. Everything's upright. You don't see nothing on their side. So if they were a side stacker, they would have done it over here too. I don't think that's what happened. So what I'm going to say, what I think happened is this person dropped their pallet. They got pissed off, and they hurried up and they were mad, and they just started throwing stuff on their pallet just to build it real quick. I want to say a couple things. If you drop your pallet, there's no reason to get mad and just start damaging product. I'm going with what I think happened. That's why I think all these cases are on their sides. They got mad, and they just started throwing the stuff to hurry up and just call them stack everyone. See how everyone, I think they just hurried up and just threw it on there just to keep moving. Guys, take pride in your work. Turn in delay time. At our work, you can turn in delay time. You drop a product, hey, I dropped my pallet, fell over, I had to restack it. I need a 7-minute delay. Whatever it took you to restack this, do it properly. All right, keep these cases upright. I believe that's what happened. If you stacked the cases like this from the beginning, then you have issues, all right? And there's zero reason. And then this case is on a slant. So that means that the inside of this pallet is higher than the outside. And that's why it's really crushing this case. You can see this case is going up. So the inside's higher and they still put it on its side. And these are going to pop open. This is just pathetic. I don't care if you started like this or if you dropped your pallet and restacked it like this. This is uncalled for. No liquid should ever be on their sides, and it's just dumb. All right, so I wanted to address this. All right, guys, so now that we looked at the pictures, I'm going to go over some of the TikToks and talk a little bit through them. And like I said, this is going to be a safety thing. So the first TikTok is right here, and this is the guy right here, okay? That's who you go on TikTok, and we're going to follow. We're going to watch this again since I was talking. All right, let's do that again. So these two people are obviously not paying attention. He's looking down. They both slam each other off. So now that you guys seen it a couple times, I'm actually going to stop it. So first of all, I think they both exaggerated the fall big time. I think they were both fine, which is actually kind of good. It's kind of good that both of them are fine. They exaggerated the fall. Another good thing, no one's feet were hanging off the jacks. Thankfully, no one's foot got crushed, or an ankle broken or anything serious happened where they had to get steel rods put in their, legs or anything like that. So guys, you're on the dock. Every time you're leaving that dock, especially if there's higher pallets around, always think of the worst. I have that mentality in the warehouse all the time. Always think of the worst. Always think there's someone coming around the corner. You should never be staring at your jack or whatever that person was doing as they were driving. That is just a huge no-no. If you're messing around with something on your jack, just stop and get off the jack and mess with it and see what you need to do. Never look down while you're driving your jack. Both people obviously did not beep horns or they would have knew somebody was coming, and that's where that collision collided. That is obviously so preventable. Now, I want to tell you a little story. I was riding a sweeper to one time on the front dock. This was many years ago. And the old sweeper we had this real sloped front to it. There's all these high pallets stacked. So what I do is when I'm running the sweeper, not only is it loud, so you should hear me coming, is I beep periodically as I'm going down the dock so people know I'm coming. A loader comes flying out behind all these high pallets, just slams into the side of the sweeper, actually fell onto the front of the sweeper and slid off the front. I was super pissed because that person could have got extremely hurt because they were being stupid. Guys, the warehouse is a very dangerous place. It is something not to be messed with. All right, guys, so this next TikTok, I'm going to show you a few things. One, if you have product falling, take the time to just pull some product down so there's less cases falling when you separate your pallet. And another thing, he actually has a decent stacked pallet there. We're going to actually watch this again. But look how he pulls out, picks it up at the end of his forks. And guys, what's that do? That drags the back of your pallet. Look at his pallet catching the ground. It's catching the ground and shaking his whole front pallet. So you could actually have a beautifully stacked pallet and then you pick it up by the end of the forks to separate them. You should never be doing that if you have weight on your product or on the pallet. If there's light product, a small pallet, you can get away with that, but not with a heavy pallet like that. You could have the most perfect stacked pallet and you can knock it over by dragging it on the ground like that. So never separate your pallet, especially a heavy load, with forks, just the end of your forks. All right, guys, this next TikTok is something you see all the time. I've done this one time and I've never done it again. You got two people trying to stop a pallet from falling over. 9 times out of 10, you're not saving the thing. Let the thing fall. All right, there's no reason to have an injury, a case hitting you in the eye, breaking your nose. Because there's some heavy cases on there. There's no reason to have a case cracking the head, cracking the ear. No reason to risk injury. Let the stupid pallet fall, damage out the damaged cases, restack it, and move on with life. All right, no reason to risk it. Not only that, let's say they did catch the pallet and they caught that and they pushed it back up. Well, when that leans, what do you think's happening to the middle of the pallet? Cases are falling in the middle and they're creating a barrier in there. So when you push that pallet back up, it's just going to knock the other side right back over again. Let it fall. Be done with it. It's going to take 20 minutes out of your day. No reason to risk injury for a pallet falling over. All right, guys, this next one, you're going to see a forklift driving forks first. See these two pillars on the forklift? They are huge for a blind spot. All right. And then for some reason, we got a pole right in the middle of the aisle. Even though they painted it yellow, it's right in the middle of the aisle. It's so stupid. I don't understand why warehouses do this sometimes, but don't put racks right. I don't know, whatever. Anyhow, we had this happen in our warehouse a couple times. Guy was driving an upright Raymond, which traveled probably around 7-8 miles per hour. Forks first, went right through the bottom. The fork actually went right through the pillar, and this person with so much momentum slammed their face off the plexiglass, shattered the plexiglass, cut up their face a little bit, and they're lucky that just a few cuts and scratches is all they sustained from that. Now, it could really have been bad. They could have really fractured their face or something to that nature, but they didn't, which is good. Guys, this is why warehouses preach not to drive forward, because there is blind spots with those pillars that are up front. You can hit a pole or you can hit a person. If that person or pole is perfectly in line with that pillar, you're going to hit them. You're going to run right in them. You're not even going to see them. I told you in one of my forklift videos, the only time I drive forks first is that if I'm in the aisle by myself doing a replens and I'm replenning the same area and I'm not exiting the aisle, I will drive forks first to my next location. Other than that, forks are always behind me. I will never pass somebody with my forks first. I will never exit an aisle with my forks first. I'm always driving with forks behind me unless I'm replenning in the aisle, and that's it, guys. So I hope you guys like the TikToks. And like I said, I hope that person don't mind that I'm putting the TikToks on my YouTube videos. If they do, then I'll have to stop doing it. But I think it's a great safety learning tool, and they're probably public TikToks anyhow. I highly doubt all this stuff is happening inside their warehouse. So, I'm going to probably just do separate videos so they're not as long. So that's it for today, guys. I hope everyone has a wonderful day.